Dwane Cates, defense attorney in the Camp Verde area. You've worked in this jurisdiction, of such a respected defense attorney you are. This judge, what do you know about him? And with the other cases that you've seen him rule on in the past, what do you think he's going to do today?
Well, nobody knows exactly what a judge is going to do in any given case. I've read all the rulings that the judge has done in this case specifically, and this judge appears to be pretty fair to both sides. He seems to know the law very well, and all his rulings seem to be well reasoned and thought out. So I think he's going to look at it very carefully. But, you know, this expert that was not disclosed, I mean, some of the information was disclosed. I mean, there were points that the defense had. What this expert did was he connected all the dots. Okay, and I had an aha moment when I read his report, because it explained a lot of the testimony that I had, and it answered a lot of questions that I had. So I think that the judge is not going to have much of a choice but to declare a mistrial in this case.
Wow. Wow, that is really saying something. Let me play devil's advocate with you, okay? Because if there is a lack of carbon dioxide, and we've heard about how many people were in that sweat lodge and they couldn't breathe and they were gasping for air and they had to get out, the prosecution is saying this isn't new information. You've had thousands of pages of discovery that have focused on this very issue.
Well, there is new information. In the report, well, they call it a report. It's an expert opinion. Whether it's a report or not, who cares? It's what the expert says. And the expert said that there was a heat barrier created by the design of this sweat lodge. And only a section of the sweat lodge is where people were having problems. You know, there were people that went through all 8 rounds of this without much effect at all. But what happened is there's a heat barrier which restricted the flow of oxygen in and out and trapped the heat in one specific section. And that section is where all the people got sick. That section is where all the people died. And I don't believe there's been any testimony whatsoever in this whole case about this heat barrier. And also the oxygen deprivation answers a lot of questions, because Liz Newman, when asked, you know, as she was dying, said, "I'm fine." You know, the lack of oxygen, you know, restricts a person's ability to think and reason. And like I said, this report answered a lot of questions for me.
All right, defense attorney Dwane Cates, I want you to listen to this and